I've got chicken legs, so I like to build up a bit of an outer quad because it gives a bit of shape and a bit of width to legs. Hey guys, how's it going? TRX Traveler Adam here. And today we're going to look at 3 types of squats that target 3 different areas. Are TRX squats effective? Yes, but they have to be done with specific intent and the right technique to be effective. This first type of squat I love because we intentfully make it target the outer quad. So it's this big thick bit here. I've got chicken legs, so I like to build up a bit of an outer quad because it gives a bit of shape and a bit of width to legs. This first one is all about keeping our feet close together. So you want to keep your feet about that distance, pretty close. Now, this applies on both the types of squats for the quads. As we go down, we are constantly pushing our feet outwards against the floor. Constantly push out, and you'll feel it creates tension here. That's exactly what we want, so constantly push the feet outwards. Same as we come back up. When we come back up, constantly push the feet outwards. When we get down to the bottom phase, pause. Don't just bounce back up. Stop and pause. Contract up. And then this first one that we're going to do, this first type of squat, we're not going to lock out like that. If we lock out like that, it's going to take a load from the outer quad onto some of the inner quad. We don't want that. We want to keep load on the outer quad. So it looks like this, feet close together. I like just use the TRX as a balance for these squats. So my feet are close together. I'm constantly pushing out, pushing out, pushing out, pushing outwards, pushing outwards. I'm pausing right at the bottom here. I'm going as deep as I can. And then I'm contracting up by pushing outwards. Now I'm not locking out. I'm just going to here. And then I'm going to go straight back down. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, contract up and back down for 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, contract up and back down. Now throughout all this, I never stop pushing against the floor. I never stop. It's all control in the mind and intent. Mind to muscle connection. Connect with the muscle, push against the floor and you'll feel it. You'll really feel it working. Even just after doing a few of them, I can already feel the outer quad starting to burn. Now, the second type of squat, we're going to bring in a bit more of the inner quad muscles in the middle. And we're going to do that by just having a shoulder width stance squat. Same principles, however. We're always going to push out. We're always going to push out against the floor, against the floor. You'll feel now though, especially on the way up and at the top, you can feel a little bit less load on them outer quads, and you can feel even though we're pushing out, these are coming in a little, the inner quads and middle quad muscles are coming in a little bit more. Now, same principle, as we go down, we're going to pause and we're going to contract up by pushing outwards, but at the top, we're going to squeeze and we're going to lock out. By locking out, I mean we're going to squeeze our quads super, super hard for 2 seconds. So 1, 2, and as I'm squeezing these, I'm still pushing my feet out and I'm twisting them against the floor a little bit. So I'm squeezing and I'm going to go back down. Pushing out, always up and down, pushing out. Apart from at the top where we squeeze super hard. Shoulder width stance, pushing out, and pushing out, and pushing out, and pushing out, and pushing out. I'm pausing. And I'm exploding up by pushing out and I'm squeezing super hard. I'm even going on my tiptoes a tiny bit just to emphasize that squeeze on the quads. And you'll really feel that inner quad squeezing. And back down for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause and squeeze up, contract, squeeze super hard as you can. And then back down. 4, still pushing out against the floor, always pushing out. Contract up, squeeze. Always push out and really squeeze at the top there, guys, and you'll feel this teardrop, this inner muscle come in. You'll feel it take all the load off there. I'm out of breath just off a few reps of that and chatting. Remember, squeeze at the top. This third squat is going to target more the hamstrings and a bit of the glutes. Mainly the hamstrings though. Now this one, we're going to have a wider stance. Point the feet outwards a little bit, and you've got to change your intent for these last ones. You've really got to flip your focus. Forget the quads. The quads don't exist. We're going to place the mind and the muscle of the hamstrings. And to go down, we pull ourselves down. We don't just drop down. We don't push out. We pull. What do I mean by pull down? We contract our hamstrings. Imagine there's a big inflatable ball sitting here and you're trying to squeeze the ball. Squeeze the big inflatable ball. So pull yourself down. Right now I'm contracting my hamstrings super hard and I'm pulling myself down. I'm pausing. Now I'm flipping it and I'm contracting my glutes and hams super hard to come up, and then I'm going to thrust forward a little bit. I'm not going to straighten my legs out. If I straighten my legs out, the quads are going to do that. We don't want that. I'm kind of like thrusting forward a bit here and I can feel all my hamstrings contracting. It's an advanced technique. If you're a beginner or an intermediate, I wouldn't worry too much about this squeezing and pausing. What I'd focus on is just keeping your legs nice and wide and going down, but try and just push your knees out a bit and focus on feeling the stretch here, and then contract your bum and glutes to come up, okay? Just try focusing on that. If you're a bit more advanced, you've been doing squats for a while and you've nailed them, focus on pulling down, and at the top here, thrusting forward to squeeze, and then tilting the hips back. Thrust forward, tips the hips back, and then as we go down, we tilt the hips forward again to drop and pull down. So that looks like this. Nice and wide, pull myself down, I'm squeezing my hamstrings, squeezing my hamstrings. I'm gonna pause, keep my legs outwards, flaring out, then I'm gonna squeeze my ham and glutes and push forward. So this, look at the bend here, and I'm squeezing this. I'm squeezing my bum, I'm squeezing my hamstrings super hard. I'm gonna flip my hips back and go down and pull down. Really gotta focus on this one, guys. As I say, it's quite an advanced technique. You can hear I'm out of breath. It does take it out of you. Normally, when people do squats, they'll just go up and down. You incorporate a lot of muscles. That's fine if you've got a heavy weight in your back and you want to build strength. If you want to actually transform your body and build muscle, we need to isolate it with specific intent and work exercises to put all the load on those muscles so we can individually break them down so they all rebuild better. We don't want to spread load out onto lots of muscles because they share it and they don't rebuild or work as hard. Hopefully you found those 3 different types useful and it answers the question, are TRX squats effective? I'm out of breath. Yes, they are effective. Even I do these a lot and I am out of breath just demonstrating them. That shows you they're effective. Really work in individual muscle groups. You may also find this video useful. Any questions, debates, comment, guys? Just drop a message below. Thanks very much for watching.